Hi everyone, we're back. Today we're going to talk about Qixi and Valentine's Day.
That's right. Let me give you a quick summary of Qixi. The story begins with Zhinyu, who was a maiden from heaven, and she went down to earth and fell in love with a man named Niulang, who was a cattle herder. They fell in love, got married, and started a family. However, Zhinyu's mom was not happy with that, and she brought her daughter back to the heavens, and she created a barrier in the heavens that could not be crossed. The poor couple, with their forbidden love, was destined to just look at each other from a distance. That was until the magpies, a kind of bird, had pity on them and created a bridge in the skies for the couples to meet again only one day per year.
So today we invited two couples to share their thoughts on love and relationships.
One couple is an American couple, while the other is a Taiwanese couple, so that should provide some interesting contrast. We'll see what ways they are similar or different. For our Taiwanese couple, because of text volume, you might think that their answers are shorter, but actually they just answered everything very well and concisely.
Mrs. Chen is my old friend and a company insurance manager who helps us get packages for different projects, and her husband owns and runs a small chain of beef noodle shops.
Josh and Pauline are friends of mine from back when I was at Studio Classroom. Pauline and I had the awesome opportunity to be teachers for the Let's Talk in English TV show for a while together. That was lots of fun. Josh also frequently appeared on TV. They are an amazing, fun couple, and they also had a lot of experience living in Central America in the country of Costa Rica.
偶尔啊，就是想到
才会
吃个饭。
对。Sometimes we've actually celebrated lots of Valentine's Days depending on where we are in the world. When we realize that there's a Valentine's Day happening, a lot of times we'll try and do something. We don't usually go like all out, but we usually do something.
Well, because I have a very particular diet, because I'm vegan, now it's a little bit special to go out to a restaurant that serves nice vegan food.
怎么认识的？算朋友的朋友介绍的，也不算介绍，就是朋友的朋友，我们一起去喝酒，然后就刚好认识到。对。
啊，说要有没有想到后面嘛？其实一开始当然是没有，就是后面其实比较适合了，那就自然而然的往下一步前进。
可是我的话，因为我觉得说女生毕竟有年纪压力，那我自己会想说，如果要进入下一段感情，就是我会觉得是想要认真，所以我在一开始认识他的时候，我在想说要不要往下走的时候，我是有想说这个人相处起来啊，或者说他的想法、理想啊，就是跟自己的价值观是 match 的，对。So I moved down to Costa Rica. While I was there, my best friend came and visited me. So we decided to go to this little village on a beach called Montezuma, and we found this cute bed and breakfast with a butterfly garden, and we stayed there. And it just so happened, it also had a very charming hotel owner who was really charming, who I felt an immediate connection to. Josh and I ended up sitting in the lobby talking till late at night, and I remember telling my best friend the next day, like, this is the craziest thing. I shared my whole life story with this stranger, and I don't even know, it was just because he was such a good listener.
I believe we also might have played a game of cards or two.
We did, we played some, yeah.
She's very competitive, so I decided to just go ahead and keep letting her win. And she felt free to talk about her entire life, so that worked out really well for me.
I'm just really serious when I do dating. Like, I was like, I don't date for fun, I only date for the purpose of seeing if there's a future for, like, marriage. And I was like, so it'll be really intense if you want to date me, basically, because even before we start dating, I'm going to be asking you all these really intense questions. And he wasn't scared off by that and really engaged, and it was really exciting, and yeah, that's how we started. We didn't get married for another 6 years. It took me a while to really trust that it was the right thing.
Now, one of the things I was really quite surprised at was that I would end up, after all the business stuff was done over the end of the day, that I would grab the phone and end up talking to her for like sometimes even 6, 7, 8, 9 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So that capacity for conversation and just being able to share what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, I think it was just something that was really both important and really attractive for both of us.
没有，
没什么好克服的。
One of the big hurdles was just kind of figuring out how we would end up like doing life together, living together long term, because I didn't want to work in a small family business in Costa Rica for the rest of my life. And Josh didn't either. That wasn't his life goal. I mean, he wanted to do other things with his life. He'd been there for 10 years already and had always thought there would be another chapter of life, but it was really hard to figure out how to make that next chapter happen and how to move away from the family business in a way that wouldn't just be, you know, like
still feel like I was fulfilling my responsibilities, right? Mm-hmm. So I had responsibilities that I had to, you know, fulfill, but then I also had new responsibilities.
So, what are love languages?
Well, this was a concept created by the author and counselor Gary Chapman, and he had the idea that there are 5 main ways that people receive love. And if I can remember all of them, it is acts of service, gift giving, quality time, physical touch, and words of affirmation.
And of course, people might have their own love languages outside of these categories.
I think one of Josh's love language is service. Like, yeah, caring for the other person in like tangible ways of helping them, I think. Like washing the dishes, making meals, helping clean up. And I just, some of those, you know, everyday mundane things, like that's really how, I think that's true for anybody in a partnership. Ultimately, you're gonna have to serve them, and that's one of the ways you show them that you love them. I think maybe that's one of the ways that Josh was really loved. That and physical touch, I guess.
Yeah, so a lot of positive affirmation, I think, is a really important style for Pauline in order to like hear love language.
My other love language is gifts, definitely. I love giving and receiving gifts.
It's true.
其实，在日常生活中，自然而然就有了，就是没有也没有说特别说什么句子或怎么样。
应该是说，在前面交往的时候，最后会认定他，是因为我们在相处的时候，我会发现他很多很贴心的地方。就我觉得就是表达爱的方式，比如说，如果我来店里找他的时候，他自己就会自动帮我倒一杯水。对，就是倒一杯温水，或者说如果我们出去的时候在车上，他就会自动帮我把空调调暖一点，因为我很怕冷。对，所以我觉得这个就是从日常上面会感受到爱的地方嘛。对。
Find a Josh.
I would say don't be afraid to be honest.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's hard, and it doesn't necessarily get easier, but if you're not afraid, right, then that will allow you to go ahead and work through those things and feel safe at the end of it.
不要管太多，
给空间啊，对，
不要管太多，
因为有时候管太多，真的对双方压力都很大，对，会很烦。那我觉得还有就是要多沟通，多沟通，什么事情都要讨论啊，对，
稍微讲一下就好，知道你在干嘛，这样就好。
就给对方信任也很重要， 对。因为毕竟我的工作可能就是需要跟比较多可能异性啊接触，可能单独吃饭、面谈什么的，所以我觉得另外一半给的空间就很重要，信任啊。
其实真的是忙，就像我们自己也很忙，他有时候也很忙。
对。
那大家就互相一下，
互相体谅嘛。
对啊，互相一下其实就够了。因为我们也真的不是在玩，那你要玩的时候，可以玩就放心的玩嘛，工作就努力的工作。那两个人相处，两个人在一起就是一起，已经基本上都在一起了啦，那就这个样子。
All right, any words for the singles, babe?
Any words for the singles? Oh, well, my phone number is 555. No, I'm just kidding. No. When you get in a relationship, one thing that will happen is that you start realizing what you're bringing to the relationship that isn't maybe the best, right? So I think it's really important for you to find good ways to bring your best self to life.
I think my word for the singles is, for one, embrace where you're at. Like, there's so much joy and goodness in being single. I was single into my 30s and I do not regret it. It was wonderful. I'm also so glad I didn't miss the opportunity to be with Josh because I was enjoying my singleness so much. And I think a lot of times it's about finding the balance where you're not desperate to be with somebody, but also not to be like terrified of commitment and being in a marriage, because I am so grateful for the marriage that I have. I believe in marriage. I believe in the good that partnership is and the way it can draw out the best in you and also help you realize the flaws in yourself and in a safe place where you can learn and grow. And I hope if you find it, you don't turn it down, I guess.
我觉得就是应该是要先爱自己啦，然后想到好好思考自己要的是什么，你才不会说就是在建立一个感情上面的时候会太依赖对方，然后给过多的压力。主要就是你真的要先爱自己，知道自己想要的是什么，那这样子在一个感情的建立上会比较健康。对，祝福大家。
Wow, those were some interesting answers. We hope you enjoyed those interviews.
And we'll share our story as a cross-cultural couple in the future.
Stay tuned for that. And we also want to hear from you.
What are some other questions you also want to ask?
Or what are your love languages? You can leave those as a comment below. And we'll see you next time.
Until then.